Welcome back to the channel. As you know, I just witnessed probably the hardest working quarter the Raptors have had in 2 years, and boy oh boy was this quarter, this half in general was phenomenal. So let's begin. First half did not go the Raptors' way. They shot 22%, 23% from the floor. They just couldn't score. They couldn't put the ball into the bucket, and ultimately only scored 34 points in the first half. Now, while the Trailblazers scored 64, so they were down 30 going into the second half. At one point, it was a 34-point lead for the Portland Trailblazers, but you might have tuned out. I didn't. The Raps did come back, but the comeback did fall short late in the fourth quarter when they just couldn't get a rebound. They took some weird defensive plays they probably shouldn't have, let a couple threes in, and ultimately the comeback did come short, but not as bad as 34 points. It was 114 105 for the Portland Trailblazers, and at one point there in the fourth quarter, it was a 30-10 run for the Toronto Raptors. These guys played their hearts out at the end, and if they would have sunk a couple shots in the first half, more than 34 points, say 50, this game was theirs. It could have been either game. They just couldn't make a shot in the first half. But I'm not down on this loss. They started horribly. I'm sorry, but that start was horrible. But they did come back and make it a good game at the end. It is tough without hardly any fans and no fans at all. So for the Toronto Raptors, it was a good effort. So let's get into the stat line here. Siakam led the Raptors with 28 points, led the whole game with 28 points. He also contributed 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Van Vliet had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals, 1 block. OG, he did foul out. There was a lot of foul trouble for the Toronto Raptors. He had 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Scotty Barnes had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. And Trent Jr. had 13 points, 1 assist, and 1 steal. So all our starters got steals. They had 11 steals from our starters, and they also blocked 6 shots, which is good. Boucher came off the bench with 11 points, 9 assists, 3 blocks for himself. And, there were a couple other guys that came off the bench. A lot of guys haven't been coming off the bench. They have been riding a tough bench, not really benching players, but it's win now mode from where the standings are right now for the Toronto Raptors. It's win now. They have a 500 record. This was a team that they could have beat. Covington came out, played really solid defense for the Trailblazers, and he just gave a lot of the Raptors shooters hard times there. I do gotta say though, Damian Lillard did not play this game. He wasn't in, but McCollum was. Let's go look at the stats here. So the Raptors, after shooting 22% in that first half, finished the game with 40% shooting, while the Trailblazers finished with 52.9. Defensive rebounds, the Raptors got out-rebounded by 9. Free throws, Raptors were 9 for 14, Trailblazers were 6 for 13. Three-point percentage is where it really came down to for the Trailblazers, as they hit 56% of their 3 points, while the Raptors only hit 33%. And fouls were even all around the game, 17 for Portland, 18 for Toronto, but the steals were in Toronto's favor, 15-8 blocks were, and there were 22 turnovers by the Portland Trailblazers compared to the 15 by the Toronto Raptors. Like I said, it was a good game. It started out poor, don't get me wrong. But it did really become a really good game there in the second half. The boys put on a show. I don't know how some of these guys shoot their threes. Like Trent Jr., like airmails the three and it's a swish every time. It's like, how do you shoot that high up and still get in? I will never know. I don't shoot that way. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.